Okay, good morning and welcome to Iyun Benzion. I really believe this is probably one of the best Iyun with Benzions to date, which is pretty hard to do it because a lot of them are really good. Um, Not just in my opinion. I mean, I personally have gone to a number of Rosh Yeshiva's house. I've taken out my phone. I've gone to opened up YouTube and shown them, my shiurim. You know, they wanted to like write haskamas, but they didn't know how to write a post on YouTube. So I was trying to show them, but they didn't have YouTube on their phone, so they couldn't write a post. But one day when they get YouTube, the Rabban and the Rosh Yeshiva, so they're gonna write posts on my channel. I'm gonna help them write the post on my channel, just how scummas they have for the events. Joke. They don't. The Rosh Yeshiva are not gonna watch YouTube. If I, had provided the audio without telling it was on YouTube, maybe they listen to it. I'm sure they would give approbations. I believe. All right, let's start today. This is really important, and everyone experiences Sheva Brachos. You're wondering, you're supposed to speak at Sheva Brachos. What do you speak about? This is what you speak about. I'll tell you right today. The Gemara on Dav Zayin and Aleph made a chiluk. The Gemara, based on the fact there's a shaktu chachamim, the chachamim instituted for an almana to have 3 days of simcha, but it's clear from Bryce there's only 1 day of Sheva Brachos. The Gemara makes a chiluk, and the Gemara says yes, 3 days for simcha from almana when she's previously married. When she gets remarried, only 3 days of simcha, but 1 day of Sheva Brachos. And seemingly, according to the other answer, the Gemara, even if he's a bachor, right, if he's never been married, if it's an almon and almon, both are widowers, so then it's 1 day of brachos, Sheva Brachos, and 3 days of simcha. And if it's a bachor, he's his first time, so then it seems to the Gemara, then it would be Sheva Brachos, but she's an almana, it's only 3 days of simcha. So the simcha, which is basically the husband and wife hanging out together, nothing to do with saying Sheva Brachos, having a festive meal, just hanging out together, being around with her. The Gemara says you want her to be with her on Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, to be around with her. That makes the wife happy. The more a husband is around their wife, the happier your wife is going to be. People say marriage is about quality time. No, it's about quantity. Quantity always beats quality. I'll prove this to you throughout Shas. But quantity is more important. You have to be with your wife more, even if you're doing nothing. Just women love when their husbands are around. They do, even if they're close, they're just, sitting in the living room. They love it. Even not talking to you. They love having their husbands around. That brings them simcha. They'll go out to work, to go far away, so they're not, especially go overseas, then they're really unhappy. So that brings a woman simcha. What brings brachas hatzchanim, Sheva Brachos is called brachas hatzchanim. It's for the man. And there's two types of happiness. There's sasan and simcha. Happiness can be divided into two things. A man's happiness is not the same as a woman's happiness. The woman experiences something called joy, which is simcha, which is a not as high of an emotion, not a high state like a man, but it lasts for a longer time. It's joy. It's something more in the heart, contentness in the heart, happiness, what we call happiness. Man, it's euphoria. That's the way man experiences. Man, their happiness is defined as euphoria, and it's a highlight. Just think back to that one moment, that flashbulb memory, one moment that happened in their life, they can relish it for the rest of their lives. And that's the whole thing of Sheva Brachos. Sheva Brachos, you say, for the man, his euphoria. And that's why only this Panim Chadashos, the first day he got married, he's euphoric. The second day already, it dissipates. And the studies show that if you're really sad, that can last for 3 to 5 days. If you're really happy, it maybe lasts only 1 to 2 days. So if you have Panim Chadashos, that's the whole thing of Panim Chadashos. You have the Panim Chadashos come, so then it reinvigorates that euphoria. There's a new state of euphoria. Hey, my best friend from college, the guy I haven't seen in 20 years. You came to my Sheva Brachos. I can't believe it. Remember those days when we were hanging out in our dorm room and we're smoking cigars? Remember those days, And we had a lot of dirty socks on the floor. Remember those days? And we took the Goyish science books. We put them in the closet. Those fun days. That guy comes, Sheva Brachos. The man's euphoric about that. So that's what Sheva Brachos is. It's for the man, brachas chasanim. Now, part of the brachas chasanim is there's 2 brachas. There's Yotzer Adam, which is really the second bracha. Sheva Brachos is really the third bracha overall. Bro governs the first bracha, and then the next bracha there. Yotzer Adam b'Salmo du Tamni. So his kilam mino binyanad. Bracha Hashem Yotzer Adam. It's 2 brachas about Yitzira, and the Gemara notes that there's a machlokus. If really you should say bracha to both brachas of Yitzira, we paskin. Yeah, you do. What is this machlokus based on? The Gemara says the machlokus is based on whether you hold. Everyone agrees that chad yitzira hava, a man and woman were created zakar nekeva baram. They're created together, the same person. The machlokus is whether we consider go after machshava or ma'isa. The machshava was 2 different people. And the ma'isa was 1 different people. What does machshava mean? 2 different people. So I think it's based on Tosfos that the machshava, the one, and this is how we paskin. You go after the machshava that Hashem originally wanted to create man and woman as distinct, a Siamese twin, with a man's head from one side, and a man's genitals from one side, and a woman's genitals from the other side, and a woman's face from the other side. Siamese twins, connected at the back. But what do? Yitzir Achas. He created them Yitzir Achas. That wasn't Yitzir Achas. It says Zakar Nekeh Baram. Hashem did the Ma'aseh. He created them in one. No, Hashem did create them as one, and every person in them, right? Even if you're a man or a woman, if you're a man, you have feminine characteristics inside of you, latent in there. It takes a lot to actually bring it to the surface, and a woman also has that in her. So there's a lot of talk politically now about gender identity and things like that. And the difference between saying someone's a male, his sex is a male, or his gender is a male, his sex is the reproductive organism which you're using the sex. It's a physical attribute. So if you have physical attributes of a man, that would make your sex a male. But when it comes to other things, gender identity is more things like your feelings or emotions, or things like that. So that's an androgen and a hermaphrodite. A hermaphrodite is a type of androgen, but androgynous can be not just that you have both physical male and physical genitals. Let's say you even have just male genitals or just female genitals. You could have aspects of emotion or feeling or identity of a woman. Now, I'm not saying you can change yourself and identify as whoever you want. That's different. That's political discussion. Whether, right, if you're a man and you feel you want to identify as a woman, so you're allowed to do that and you refer to yourself as she. I'm not going to get into that. That's a political discussion. I'm not going to get into it. I have an opinion. I'm not going to tell you my opinion. But either way, it's recognized in this Gemara that Hashem created man as a man, right? He has female characteristics. Eventually, Hashem took out his limb and took out his ribs and created another physical. So there are two physical things: a physical woman and a physical man. But in every man, there exists female characteristics and even female pleasurable characteristics inside the man. I believe that you can reach a level like this. If you're familiar with the person Prince, a musician, he died, I think, 2016 from a drug overdose. But he was a short man, Prince. He was, I think, he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince, or he just had a symbol, which actually had the male and female symbol in it together. The female symbol is a circle with like a cross coming from the bottom, and the male symbol is a circle with an arrow coming, angling out from the top. He put both of them in there, and he had like a musical instrument in there also. I think it was like a trumpet or something like that. So that was his symbol. He just was known as a symbol. He was angry at some of the record companies that they weren't letting him do something. So he changed his name to a symbol, not even a name. He was the artist formerly known as Prince. He was Prince, but then his real name was just a symbol. So, and then Prince apparently had reached a certain level where he could enjoy male enjoyment and physical enjoyment also. It's possible. I'm telling you, it's really possible. There really exists such a thing, and that's really what androgen is. Androgynous characteristics, not just a hermaphrodite. Androgynous can not just have emotions and feelings of a woman, but also you could have the experience of a woman. This gets into metaphysical and physical, but we're not going to talk about it. Go so deep into that. But the idea is, and that's why we say sason v'simcha over here, right? It says kol sason kol simcha kol chasan kol kalas. Sason is by a man. That means euphoria. Simcha is by a woman is joy, and that lasts for longer. And that's why in Almana, even if she gets married, if she's married already, she still needs a longer. Women need it more. They need a joy because it's not as high of a feeling. It's just a more constant feeling. So you have to have simcha. You have to have it for 3 days. That's why you have it for 3 days. Almana, even though she's been married already, she needs something more. Just 1 day is not enough. She needs simcha for 3 days. The man, though, if he's been married already, so euphoria, it's a higher enjoyment for that moment. So he has it for 1 day. That's good enough for the man, unless he's never been married before, and he had it for 1 day, but he had it part of Chadashos. And that's why Simcha B'mono, right? Simcha B'mono, you say, even when you don't say Sheva Brachos, because Simcha B'mono is the word Simcha. It's the joy of the woman. The joy of the woman is Simcha B'mono. So therefore, when you have Sheva Brachos, even though principally the Sheva Brachos are stated for the man, but even if you don't have the Panam Chadashos, there's no euphoria for the man. It's still Simcha, because the woman is sitting next to her husband. She's sitting next to her husband, so there is Simcha B'mono, there is Simcha, and you could even say that 7 days, 30 days, a year afterwards, because the man and woman being together is still a joy for the woman, which lasts a longer time, and this joy for the woman is being together with her husband. I hope you enjoyed. See you in Mishnah Yomi.